Message received. Updated.
Hey guys, what's going on? TV Bomber here, and today I thought I'd show you my Hunter class. It's been a while since I made a video. As you can see, I'm level 26. I'll go through my weapons, my armor, and my class setups for the subclasses, and the weapons that I really like, all that good stuff. So I guess let's get right into it. We'll start with the Gunslinger subclass. And this is what I like to do. As the hunter, you're already pretty agile, and that's kind of the name of the game of the hunter. Really, is speed, agility, all that stuff. So I like to stack up my armor as the hunter, so I can just tank bullets or tank shots, and still be agile as the hunter and get kills that way. So tanking bullets is pretty interesting in this game, especially. And it's something that you want to get into as a hunter, but I'll get into that later. Here's my grenades. Obviously, I have Incendiary, Swarm, and Trip Mine. I adore the Trip Mine grenade. I think it's the best thing ever. In fact, it might even be slightly overpowered. Repeating myself a little bit there. I haven't done a commentary in a while. Sorry about that. But it might be a little bit overpowered, just because if you know how to use it, it's a one-hit kill in PvP, assuming they walk right through it. And it lasts for a decently long time, and you can just cut off entire areas or entire routes with this grenade, and just it helps when you're capping objectives. It helps when you're in a tight spot against one or more enemies, and if you stick an enemy with it in story mode or a strike, it does a ton of damage. It does like 3,000 damage or something, and it's just so good. It really is so good in both PvP and PvE. So I highly recommend you guys try out the Trip Mine grenade. This is my best way to play, by the way. If you got, obviously it's personal preference. That's what this game is based off of. That's what Call of Duty is based off of. So don't take my word for it. I'm just saying you guys should try this. I like the triple jump over the higher jump or the better control jump, because for me the triple jump does give me better control, because you can switch directions on your third jump. And the higher double jump just doesn't really benefit me more than the triple jump does. Obviously I have Golden Gun, and Deadeye I don't find you need. The Golden Gun already has incredible auto aim, or aim assist, excuse me, and like you just pop people with it once and they die in PvP especially. I'm a PvP oriented player, and you know, if you're playing PvE, accuracy really isn't needed for the Golden Gun. Combustion, I tried it and it didn't seem to do too much for me. I mean, I don't know if it did extra damage to the enemies around the guy that explodes, but for me, I just choose Gunfighter, which is just reduces the cooldown so you can use it more often. I think that's a lot more useful than any of the other perks. Throwing Knife is also something very useful if you're in a tight spot. Killing an enemy with the throwing knife while the golden gun is active extends the duration of the golden gun. I'm not thinking about killing people with throwing knives while I'm using my golden gun. I just want to get 3 pop shots and then go back to using my auto rifle. So that's not very useful to me. Precision kills with the throwing knife immediately reset its cooldown, so you could potentially have infinite throwing knives. Now, here's my thing, right? These two are both really good. This one is throwing knife catches enemies on fire, dealing additional damage over time. This not only allows you to see where enemies are, but it makes enemies weaker and weaker over time, and it increases your chances of a post-mortem kill if the enemy does end up killing you in PvP. Also, if you have solar burn on a strike mission or something like that, that increases like fire damage from any source or solar damage from any source. That's what this is for. If you hit someone with an incendiary blade throwing knife in PvE, like if you hit a fallen captain or something, like it does so much damage over time, it's not even funny. But if you're not dealing with solar burn or anything like that, I highly recommend Knife Juggler for PvE, because, you know, precision kills are pretty easy to get with a throwing knife against computer enemies. And so you can potentially have infinite throwing knives, and that can do a lot of damage very quickly. Like I said, I chose Path Unknown, focused on battle recovery and toughness over anything else. because I don't want my recovery to go too low. I won't go Path Forgotten. Scavenger, picking up ammo reduces the cooldown of your grenade and throwing knife. This is really, really useful. It really does a lot. So whenever you pick up any ammo at all off the ground, it reduces your cooldown. Like, that's crazy. That's almost overpowered. Whereas Keyhole, that's like, I mean, this could be useful in PvE, but not so much in PvP. And precision kills increase weapon stability. I mean, that's not going to be huge in PvP very much. Maybe in PvE, but once again, this is going to be your most powerful thing. Again, training focus on toughness at all costs. Way of the Drifter is also alright if you want to completely balance it out, but I would still go with Path Unknown. I have gone with Way of the Fearless just because I want maximum armor. And then, obviously, Gambler's Dagger is gain an additional throwing knife over these two, which are kind of useless, to be honest with you. So that's my Gunslinger subclass. My Blade Dancer. The Skip Grenade is overpowered, let it be known. But if you like the Flux Grenade, that is also an incredibly good grenade. I do not like the Arc Roll Grenade in the slightest. Whenever I use it, I never get any kills with it. But the Flux Grenade, you can stick people with it, and it's a one-hit kill, just like the Plasma Grenade in Halo. So that's an awesome thing to have in Destiny PvP. But the Skip Grenade is pretty overpowered, if you ask me. It's really, really good. I highly recommend it. And then Blink, short distance teleport. You can really use this, especially in PvP, to confuse the enemy. You could just teleport around them all the time, and it really messes them up. It's almost overpowered if you know how to use it. One day or 1 minute you're in front of them, the next you're behind them, shooting them in the back. I mean, it's just such a good ability, the teleport. So always Blink. It takes a little bit of time to get used to, but you'll get used to it eventually. Arc Blade is also really, really good super. I choose Showstopper, damage all nearby enemies instead of any of those. This Razor's Edge takes a lot of practice, and I found that I wasn't very effective with it. But if you're very effective with it, Razor's Edge is very, very, very good. So we got Blink Strike. Reduces cooldown of Blink Strike. Like I said, I mean, why not just go for the least cooldown possible? Battle Recovery and Toughness, just like the last class, and Way of the Fearless, just like the last class. This one, Quick Draw. Oh my gosh, Quick Draw is so good. You have no idea. It's like weapons ready immediately. This is Dexterity and Ready Up from Call of Duty. Everyone knows that. It's a lot more useful than Fleet-Footed or Shadowjack. Assuming you have invisibility effects active, which I do not. Kills with the Arc Blade and Blink Strike immediately regenerate health, which is awesome. You know, this is really nice if you're planning on sniping. So if you're on the moon map, this is something that you'll probably want to think about more than this, because obviously the moon map is a long-range map. You're not going to be in a CQC, so you're probably going to want to switch those out. So that's something to think about. Now my weapons, as you can see, I've got a really, really nice legendary auto rifle called Dr. Nope. I got it straight from the Vanguard Armory. Not very good impact, but what it doesn't have an impact, it makes up for in stability and rate of fire. This thing is so good, especially with the upgrades. Bottom half of each magazine causes additional damage. This weapon has extremely low recoil, is the one I've gone for, versus the hammer forged or armor piercing rounds. Third Eye, radar stays active while aiming down the sights with this weapon. Oh my gosh, this thing is so good in player versus player for this reason alone. I highly recommend anytime you can get this perk on anything. In fact, there was a helmet that Zur Agent of the Nine, an exotic helmet for the Hunter. He was selling it, and it had that perk for all your primary weapons. So I highly recommend getting anything that has this, because it is just so good to have radar while you're aiming down your sights. It's crazy good. So get it whenever possible. This video is going to run a little long, guys. I hope you guys don't mind. Might as well show you guys my exotic shotgun. It fires in full auto mode, and causes solar damage. I'll try and get a clip firing all of these weapons and doing damage with all of these weapons for you guys in here. But you know, as it is, you know, that'll be a thing. The last round in the magazine deals bonus damage. And this weapon regenerates ammo over time. This thing is so crazy, it's not even funny. In fact, let me upgrade that real fast. It's so good. And then I bought Yellowhorn as well. Shells from this weapon track their targets, and rounds fired this weapon split into tracking cluster missiles upon detonation. Very, very good. And then you got a couple other perks in there as well. But other than that, I got some other pretty nice legendary heavy weapons. My legendary LMG. Expect to find more ammo for this weapon, etc., etc. You know, Unfriendly Giant is another tracking rocket launcher. I'm thinking about getting rid of this because, I mean, it's kind of pointless now that I have Yellowhorn. But obviously, these weapons are all very good. The Shinjin-C is arguably the best weapon in PvP. I'm still waiting for a Shinjin-E. I know they exist. It's a rare version of the Shinjin-C because I do actually have the Galahad-E, which is a rare version of the Galahad-B. Some of you guys might recognize. But these two weapons are extremely solid. This is a really good scout rifle. The Stranger's Rifle is almost overpowered in PvP, to be honest with you. I don't know why I don't use it more often. And the hand cannon, this is the one hand cannon that I use. I'm working on Thorn, which I should get done in the near future at some point. Oh, my armor. I got the Queen's Guard mask from one of the Queen's missions. Obviously, it gives you the same armor every time. Really, really nice mask. I won't go into the details. The reason I keep all these other masks is because of PvP. Some of them increase your discipline and your intellect. You always have to look at that. If you want to balance this out to have maximum cooldown on all your items in PvP, it's a lot more helpful than your light value, so your level in PvP. So you want to keep these helmets that might have perks that your other helmets do not. Same with the armbands and stuff. I have a nice legendary arm piece, but I keep these ones just for the intellect and discipline, so if I need more of one or the other, I can switch to it in PvP. And same with the chest pieces and these foots. I have the Venom of Akanehaka. I don't even know how to say it. I'm so sorry if I offended anyone by doing that. But it's really sick cloak. Goes well with the purple, in my personal opinion. And then I've got, you know, the Dead Orbit cloak and the Future War cloak for leveling those up. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you. That's my character, by the way. Like her? Yeah. The best weapon, in my personal opinion, in PvP. Where is it? Where are you? I know you're here somewhere. Oh, I must have put it on one of my other classes. You know, my Titan has it. So it's a Sidonia. It's one of these guys. It's actually a level 8 Sidonia with 70 attack. But in PvP, it doesn't matter, right? The perk that this weapon has is it fires slower, but does a bunch of damage. Like, it does so much more damage when it fires slower, when you're aiming down the sight. That's the weapon you saw me use in my first ever gameplay on Destiny. So if you guys were wondering how I got such a slow firing assault rifle that did so much damage, that's the Sidonia with that perk. It's really, really good. Recommend you guys try and find one if you can. But as far as I know, it's pretty rare. I haven't seen anyone else with it. You can see my vault is pretty full of rare weapons and nice uncommon weapons like the Shinjins and Sidonias for PvP. But that's going to be all for today, guys. I will hopefully have some clips of my hunter in action, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.